I'm Michael Fox, and this is the Prospector News Podcast, and we're on location at the mining event of the North in Quebec City, and I'm sitting across from Killian Charles, the president and CEO of Brunswick Exploration. Welcome, Killian.
Thank you, Mike, for having me at, as you mentioned, the mining event of the North.
Absolutely. This isn't a far trip for you. You're from Montreal, so this is just a jaunt up the highway for you, and a little short flight for me. Two short flights because I have to fly through Montreal. I should have gotten off at the airport and hitched a ride with you. It would have been better than the plane I was on. It's been a while since we talked, but first, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about today, let's get the 10,000-foot view of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. Brunswick Exploration has always been about one thing: making lithium discoveries. That's what we spent the last 12 months aggressively doing. We pretty much launched the largest grassroots lithium initiative of its kind across the entire world, focused predominantly on Canada, obviously. We made 3 lithium discoveries. They happen to be all in Quebec. We started drilling one of them, our favorite one, Mirage. We're already up to 10,000 meters on it, and every hole we pulled out of there looks incredible. And we're still going to be growing it here.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the amount of work that you guys have done in the last year. There has been several discoveries, as you mentioned, 3 significant ones, Mirage being the best of the 3. Now, you came out with some fantastic drill results yesterday. Were those on Mirage?
Absolutely, those from Mirage. We put out 69 meters at 1.6%, which followed up 94 meters at 1.5. You know, Mirage is just one of those assets that looks to be quite special to us. I like to jokingly call it as economically significant. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do. We've only put in 10,000 meters, but, you know, we've always had a game plan. That's what it boils down inside Brunswick Exploration. We said we are here to discover lithium, but I want to add something that we're here to discover lithium mines. You know, just finding lithium for me is not good enough for our team. We want to have something that's going to have an impact. And every time we work on Mirage, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that impact that we want. It's all at surface. It's high grade. Importantly, it's still open. We've barely started scratching the surface here. And let's go back to last year. I mean, there was forest fires that pretty much impacted the entirety of Canada. And to do such a large initiative while there's unprecedented forest fires makes for an interesting year, to say the least. We have only been at Mirage since August of last year. So since August, we've already made such significant discoveries in the span of such a short time. We still have so much more to do on that front.
Yeah, a lot of people's exploration got shortened dramatically last year by fire. Hopefully none of your crews had any close calls out in the bush, but it makes for interesting stories as long as everyone comes back safe.
I mean, some of them, everyone was safe, obviously. Some of them came back and said, there was a lot of smoke. Even when the forests the lands were reopened to work, there was a fair amount of devastation in certain areas. But look, if there's a silver lining to it, turns out there was much better rock exposure out there. So the team were able to work pretty fast through their targets.
Look at you being a half glass full guy.
I mean, you have to stay positive.
No, you do. Absolutely. I'm going to ask you what I would consider to be an unfair, because I know your father, your projects are like your children. I'm going to ask you what your favorite child is here. What's your favorite project beyond Mirage? Because clearly it is your favorite.
It is Mirage. And the great thing with Mirage is that it's a measuring stick for Brunswick, right? We now have something that we can compare the rest of our portfolio to. If it doesn't meet the bar of Mirage, then I'm sorry, but I might have to disown that child. So it's just something I can't avoid. We have to make sure that we are focused in how we explore. Again, we're looking for lithium mines. That carries a certain amount of weight, that carries a certain concept around it. And part of that concept is making sure that we find the biggest, largest, highest grade asset as possible. Because I really believe that you're going to see an evolution in the lithium market. The same way you saw an evolution in many other commodities, one of them being iron ore. If you jumped to iron ore like 70 years ago, you had a number of little iron ore mines across the entire country. And slowly and surely, all of them started shutting down. And now we only produce iron ore from one place in all of Canada. You know, the border that straddles between Quebec and Labrador, and then Shefferville up in Quebec, to a lesser extent Baffin Island, but predominantly we produce from a very small area. And I can't help but feel that lithium is going to be the same way. And it's going to be predominantly large-scale mines in a select region. And I'll be honest with you, that region is probably going to be Quebec. And when I look at where Mirage is situated, 70 kilometers to the north of Winsome, 100 kilometers to the east of Patriot, that has every sign of a district, a lithium district. And to have an asset smack dab in the middle of it, I'll tell you, it feels good. It really does feel good because I know that there's a lot of opportunity here for Brunswick and for just all the companies around us to potentially supply all of North America with lithium, a key ingredient in decarbonization.
No, definitely. And you're in a good jurisdiction. The Quebec government has put a lot of effort in making sure that the upstream opportunities are there for the lithium that is produced in Quebec, with plans for battery factories, plans for shipping out of the different ports, etc. Has anyone from the government talked to you about your projects and how they can help?
I mean, we're in constant discussion of finding ways to work together. I've always felt that with a bit of hindsight, Quebec should be at the top of any Fraser Institute. I know it's always top 10, but I'll be honest with you, I might be biased, but it should be number one every single time. Maybe it's because they allowed them to speak French. I don't know, but it is definitely one of the best provinces to operate in the world, because best jurisdiction to operate in the world, because you have financial support, you have government support, and to see this interest from provincial government, the federal government, but even the American government in building out a unique supply chain in North America, and to have it all potentially be concentrated in Quebec, that's a lot of support. That's what every industry wants to have. When it's all sort of, spread out, it's tough to build something out because you're always starting from scratch with new governments, new understanding. Quebec has an opportunity to build an industry that will be pride of the nation, yes, but will make a lot of other jurisdictions quite jealous, to say the least.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive and out in front of the curve with the Americans. I see Quebec government officials at some of the U.S. conferences that I do attend, and they're always huddled together with their American compatriots. I've noticed that very much. So it's good that they're out in the forefront of this as things move forward. As things move forward, touch wood. There's a core box in front of me. I'll touch that. That's the closest wood. We don't have as bad a forest fire situation this year as we had last year. What do the plans for Brunswick look like for the summer season?
Look, there's no doubt about it that first and foremost in our plan is going to be Mirage, right? When I look at all of the work that we've done at that asset, when I look at all of the drilling we've done, and again, we barely started in this process of defining the potential at Mirage. We are, to use the baseball analogy, we're barely at the second inning here, bottom of the second at most. 10,000 meters is nothing. I mean, I have areas where I've drilled one hole. There's no holes around it, and I drilled 30 meters of nearly 2% peg. And it's open, 400 meters in any direction. There's so much opportunity to build around that. And we will. The whole team right now is up on site. As you mentioned, forest fires last year, not as bad this year at all. So we're doing a big prospecting push at Mirage. We only had a few weeks last year because we were managing everywhere else. That's going to be a core focus for us. We hope to be drilling back there in the next coming weeks and months. But then I really want to emphasize, we've done something unique in Brunswick, right? When we said that we went across all of Canada exploring, we built an expertise. We built an expertise that not a lot of other companies have. When it comes to exploration, it's all about seeing rocks, as many rocks as possible, as many environments as possible. I tell you that I'm pretty sure my team has seen the most rocks of any company out here in Canada. The amount of targets we have visited over the last 24 months is unprecedented. And I want to leverage that above and beyond my work at Mirage. You know, I said that Quebec can be the supplier for North America. Well, it doesn't mean that there's not other opportunities. What about Europe? You know, I strongly believe that there's exploration potential in areas that have never been taught for lithium before. And I want to leverage my team, this expertise that I built inside Brunswick, to go exploring those nations. That's why we're going to go to Greenland. That's why we're going to go to Labrador. That's why we're going to go to Nunavik, because we believe that those areas have incredible geological potential. In the case of Labrador and in Greenland, no one has ever gone there looking for lithium. We are absolutely blowing the doors off the frame here, and that's the way we like to do it in Brunswick. Always pushing, always innovating. And so while we're going to be advancing Mirage, we're also going to do another unprecedented exploration campaign. You know, we want to leave a mark with Brunswick. We want to be here and demonstrate that we're, again, not just looking for lithium, we're looking for lithium mines, and we want to innovate and push the envelope as much as we can. So, you know, my team, right now they're at Mirage, but after that, they're going to start cycling out and doing grassroots exploration. We still have more ideas. We still have lots of crazy fun things to go ahead and try out, but we really want to set ourselves apart from a lot of other companies out there, not just be a single, you know, asset focus. We want to demonstrate that we have a lot to give and leverage all of this knowledge and all of this expertise we've built inside Brunswick. So it's going to be in it. Saying all that, it's going to be a really exciting and a very busy summer. Knock on wood, knock on that core box.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing what happens for the summer. It's exciting times for you and the company, and the sky's the limit. If people want to follow the company and the story through the summer, how would they do so?
Look, we'll be doing interviews. We'll be pushing it out there. I want to get some cameras up to site so people can see what we're up to. We'll try to make the outreach as large and as wide as possible here.
Best place is the website?
Best place is absolutely the website, but we've got some other ideas on that front. We want to make sure people stay up to date on what we're doing.
Outstanding. It's a pleasure seeing you again, and I look forward to talking to you after the summer exploration to see how all that went.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to that conversation.
Me too. Thanks, Killian.
Cheers.
Brunswick Exploration is a paid sponsor of the Prospector News. The Prospector News podcast is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not to be taken as investment advice. Listeners need to do their own due diligence and seek advice of a licensed investment advisor.